is 20 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Leadership Roswell Alumni Association, man of many hats, but that's the one he's wearing today, Damon Graham back with us. Morning, Damon.
Good morning, Mike.
How you doing today?
I am blessed at every turn.
Good. How's the new year treating you?
Very well. Very well. Everything's going
Family's
fast and
doing
furious.
well. Business going good. Everything's doing
Business
well.
is great. Family is great. We just had our second round of COVID run through the house, and it attacked half of us and left half of us alone. So, it's just, it is what it is.
But everybody fared well through it.
Oh, yeah.
Colds mostly and things like that.
It was
good.
all good.
Of course, if you need help with financial planning through New York Life, Damon can help you out with any of that stuff. So
Most definitely.
Definitely reach out if you're. I know this time of year, people tend to assess life things, and this is usually a good time to do that.
Tax season.
So look up Matt. Look up Matt Damon Graham.
Matt does the legal side. Now, come on.
I almost called you Matt Damon. That's what I was going.
Okay. Well,
I was about
hey.
to call you Matt Damon.
I wished I had his financial issues.
That's what I was about to say. Is Matt Damon is David Graham. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right.
That should be your acting name. Like, go and do it to play or something and say Matt Damon Graham. That should be your stage name.
Change my middle name. Yeah, there you go. That would work. Maybe they'd just throw money at me.
But David could definitely help you with all that, even if you call him Matt Damon.
Yeah. I've been called worse.
For folks that don't know, we actually had Rick and Patrick join us, I believe, Monday of this week, talking a little bit about this. But next Tuesday, February 1st, is the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association is hosting a municipal candidate forum. And in case you don't know, the next day, February 2nd, is the start of early voting for the municipal election. So you can literally go to the event on Tuesday and then wake up the next day and go head to the clerk's office and get your vote in while it's fresh. But you don't have to, but I'm saying you could. But I want to highly recommend everyone, if you can attend the event, that would be preferable. But if you're not available, we will be carrying it right here on the radio and audio only, obviously. And then we'll be carrying live streaming video at ksvptv.com, which will be available on demand afterwards. So if you're, but I always want to encourage people, if you have the time and available, be in the audience at the Pueblo here, because you see everything. The video can only bring you so much. Camera angles are so wide, things are so. If you're in the room, you're seeing, smelling, hearing everything. Reactions to people in the audience, reactions of other people running for office there, and you get all that. Where sometimes you miss some of that if you're not in the room, watching on TV or.
It does make a difference.
It
really does, because then you can see like you said, you see the reactions of the other candidates.
Yeah.
When who they're running against answers a question and they're going, wait a minute. And you can see the stunned look on their face, or the look of, yeah, right.
Yeah, people's indications aren't always what comes out of their mouth. Right. It's how they react, how, if they see a response and someone says something, the other person finds it ridiculous, they might roll their eyes or, do a audible sigh or something. And you kind of miss that on video sometimes. And now, if you're unavailable and got to work or got, soccer practice or whatever 100 things that happen in our lives, we will be carrying it live, but you can also catch it on demand too. So if you're going to do the full effect is go there, be there on Tuesday. And then any parts, like if your ward or mayoral, you can go back and watch them and for any parts you missed, or if you want to just rehear an answer, or did I hear what I thought I heard that person say? And then you can go back and check it out. That's probably the best way to do that.
Certainly. And the uniqueness of this, Mike, is, and I know you've been involved with it for several years, but it's a forum format.
Yes,
it's not a debate.
It's not. This isn't a got you. Let's see how charming, witty, and charismatic in an argument or a debate setting is to show you that. That's not what the point of this. Each person has, they're not technically talking to each other, but like they would be in a debate. They're going to get questions, might be the same, might be a different question, and they get an opportunity to answer it, and that's how it is. And they get X amount of time, and it's not like a debate format where then now the other candidate gets to respond to that question. They get their own, they get their own question, and it may be the same one, it may not be, just depending on the flow of the night there. But and I would say this too. Were you involved with the question committee, or was that some other folks?
No, I was.
Okay. Obviously, we're not going to ask you to ask the questions.
Nope.
They're going to, but I wouldn't mind if you had explained the process in which you guys come up with questions and talk about, where you go, how, what's the thought process? What's the kind of the marching orders on how you guys came up with these questions?
And it's unique, or I think it's unique, because all the questions are formulated. We've got a committee that gathers together, and we try to make them as centralized on the race itself. But then we don't try. I mean, we're not trying to destroy a candidate or anything like that. We're trying to pull the information out of the candidates to make sure that those that are watching, those that care, can get the information from them and figure out where they stand on issues or who they are in general.
Sure.
Because a lot of times, you see the campaign ads, you see the posters and everything like that, and you formulate an idea about somebody. But then you don't know really who that is.
Sure.
And the forum is designed to try to personalize it, get an idea of who they are behind the scenes and who the person is.
Absolutely.
And the question format is, nobody knows. I mean, and this has been presumed in the past that the candidate knew the question, which is absurd.
Absolutely
There
untrue.
is no way that a candidate would know the question.
I'm telling you right now, the only people that know the questions that are going to be asked on Tuesday night are the committee that put them together, and maybe Rick Kraft at this point.
Yep.
And that's about it.
And the way that we do it is when we get together, we formulate the questions, and everything stays in that room. It does not. I mean, we, even on the committee, we don't walk out with the list of questions. It's
in a secure location.
Yes.
That's gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So there's no way that anybody could know ahead of time what the questions are going to be.
And I've served on that committee in the past, and it, true to form, it was done the exact same way. And now I would also tell you too, it's like you said, when you're gathering the input and stuff, you guys reach out to the public on this stuff and say, hey, where do you want to hear? Shoot us thing. And matter of fact, when you come on Tuesday night, if you get there at 5:30, the actual thing will start at 6. And I'll get you all the pertinent details here in a bit, but get there at 5:30. The candidates can come early, set up booths, and you can come and ask them your questions or speak to them one-on-one. But you also have an opportunity if you want to submit a question for the event. I'm not guaranteeing it will be used, but it may come into play here if Rick, when he's moderating, deems that maybe that's a good question to use right now.
And that's unique this year.
Okay. Yes.
They've never done that in the past, and we've been the Alumni Association has been doing the forum for
long as I can remember.
Well, I think Rick made the comment that it was, I want to say 30.
Yeah. See,
30 years.
I can't remember longer than 30 years.
Yeah,
So.
I'm like pulling that one out of the back of my brain. But this is the first time that we've opened it up and said, hey, let's try this.
Yeah.
Now, so if you do have a specific question, you can submit it. And like Mike said, there's no guarantee that it's going to get asked.
Sure.
It's going to be, scrubbed.
Yeah.
Because, like it's not a debate. We're not trying to,
Sure.
demoralize.
Yeah,
a
you're not
candidate.
upsetting people up for failure or
no.
success. You're just trying to get information to people.
So if it's a legit, worthwhile question,
Sure.
it may get asked.
Or if it's a voluminous, like we had multiple people ask this same question or some style of it that at least tells Rick when he's moderating, saying, you know what, people want to know about this subject. We need to address it some way, shape, or form.
Definitely.
And so even if it's not word for word your question, maybe it's in the vein of what you're asking about, because there's a lot more people than you curious about that particular subject. Right. So that's really how what these questions will do and serve. So it really gives the public an opportunity to give some input in here as well. But if you really have poignant questions, you're like, I want to know X about X, get there early. I'm pretty sure, if not all the candidates, most of them are agreeing you're going to set up a little table and maybe have some literature and stuff for you. And if you want to ask them or talk to them one-on-one about their campaigns, that's being offered to everybody. So get here early for that, and that way you can answer those questions or ask those during that time.
Certainly. And it's unique this year. We've got 17 candidates.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So It's going to be there. There is a very wide spectrum of questions, and it's going to be jam packed.
Yeah.
Trying to get it done in a timely fashion.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's going to be a lengthy night, weighty night, but it's going to be a lot of good information, and we're going to try to get as much packed into that time as possible.
And we've got 15 of the 17 with a hard confirmation. 2 were, they confirmed, but they said, yeah, we may not be able to make it. So, but if we have all 17, that's huge.
Sure. And every race, with the exception of Ward 5 and City
5.
Council, is an opposition. There's at least 2 candidates. I know Angela Moore's been offered an opportunity to speak, even though she's running unopposed.
Right.
I'm not sure if she's accepted or not or whatever, but she may or may not be there to talk.
Right.
But the rest will have an actual forum here.
Yes.
But if she so desires to come out on Tuesday, we'll give her a couple minutes to address the crowd and say what she feels she wants to tell everybody.
Yes.
So.
And coming early definitely has its benefits because the candidates are supposed to be there early, setting up, and they're each going to have some room to set out some paraphernalia, whatever they want to put out there,
promotional materials,
and they'll be there, like Mike said, to answer some questions. If so coming out early, getting a good seat, visiting with them, it's going to be good.
Absolutely. Now, just to remind folks here, we've got 4 candidates for mayor, so that's going to take some time. And then each ward we're going to be covering. Ward 1 is that 3 candidates?
I believe so.
Ward 2 has 3 candidates, I think. Ward 3, I think, has 2 candidates. Ward 4 is like 5 candidates.
Yes.
And then Ward 5 has the one, the incumbent running for re-election. So we got a lot of ground to cover here. But I would invite you, especially since they just did redistricting here. If you're unfamiliar or not, quite fuzzy on what ward you're supposed to be voting in now, don't hesitate to reach out 2 different directions. You can always contact the city clerk's office. They'd be happy to give you that information. But if you go to the City of Roswell's website, roswell-nm.gov, they've got the district maps there. They've got all that information, so you can find out what ward you're in, which ward you're voting in, and that way you can pay a little bit closer attention to that particular forum. Obviously, if you live in Ward 4, you're not going to be as interested in what's going on in Ward 3 or 2 as far as that race goes.
Right.
But that way you can kind of pay a little more attention, do a little bit more due diligence on the races that you actually have a vote in. So.
I think it's interesting. I've been involved with it since 2015, and I think one of the most unique aspects is you actually get to see the candidates unscripted.
Yeah.
And that makes, to me, that speaks volumes about that individual.
Absolutely.
Because anybody can, rehearse a commercial over and over and over and over and over and make it sound decent.
Yeah.
Or they can stand in front of a poster and take a picture.
Right.
But when you get up there and you're asked a pointed question that you had no idea what the question was going to be, and you've got to formulate that answer and articulate it, that to me speaks volumes about somebody.
You learn their work ethic. You learn their knowledge. You learn a lot of stuff. And you're right, because anytime you say you go to a candidate's website or their social media or anything they're putting out, you're going to see them at their best. They're not going to put out something that makes them look stupid or whatever. So you're right. Yeah, you're going to see the polished version of that person. In that forum, obviously they're going to come polished and come, presentable and everything. Yeah, that's the idea. But you're right. They don't know the questions. They don't know they can, it's just like a debate. You see when presidential debates and things, you always hear they're practicing for weeks leading up to the event. And that's because they're trying to throw every curveball question that they might come across during that debate. Well, they're going to have to prepare somewhat for that, but they don't know. And they don't know. Damon and the group, they may think one area is important and can start working there, where the candidate was like, I thought they're going to ask me about crime. And they went this direction about infrastructure or whatever. It's just and so they got to be the candidate. And this is where, being a candidate, you're going to have positions on these. And forums like this, find out real quick, have people invested time and energy in thinking about these problems and addressing them, or are they just looking to get elected and we'll worry about it later? And that's that I think candidate forums do an excellent job of separating the people that know what they're doing and want to fix some changes versus folks that are just running either for an emotional reason or whatever that is, And
it's commendable that they're running it all, because it takes a lot to step out there and put yourself into, society as a whole.
Yeah,
you put a target on your back.
Yeah, you're a lightning rod. You're a paper target. Yep.
It's commendable, but it also, there's a difference between, like you said, running for, the betterment of society, the betterment of your community, making a change, or you're running just cause.
Yeah, you're mad at something or whatever. Which I'm not saying there's something wrong with that, if that's what got you there to the first place, but that only is 1/10 of the battle. Right. Having a desire is a big part, but you got to have the tools to do to make the match the desire behind that, and that's where the candidate forum. I think no other real avenue can really give you that kind of exposure. I'll tell you, paper does a great job with their interviews and their questions. I like to say I do all right here, one-on-one with the candidates when I talk to them here in the thing, but we can't replicate what's going on at the forum there.
Because it's all impromptu.
Yeah, and so use all those tools in your tool belt. Read the paper, read those interviews. Please listen and watch my interviews. But that forum will use that as the glue to put all that together and formulate your opinion on all this stuff. So,
and I don't think in my mind, there hasn't been a time that we need solid leadership in all of these roles, because there are so many things that come up now and during the pandemic and the aftermath of, and what we're still going through, and all the decisions that need to be made. Not just, the school board was, huge in that election.
Yeah.
And the city council and the mayor. They have the power to determine what direction we're going to go.
Absolutely.
And, what decisions need to be made to make it through all this craziness.
I say this every time we talk about local elections here. The decisions you make at a municipal election level are going to impact your life much greater than a presidential election will be. And I'm not saying presidential elections are important. Please vote, do that. But in all honesty, that we do more due diligence on national elections than we do in our own backyard.
Right.
And more damage can be done by the people in your own backyard than the president can be as far as impacting your day-to-day life. And therefore, I'm not saying reverse the logic, but you need to put as much, if not more, due diligence in your research of local candidates that you do for, say, president or governor or any other more national or state level race here.
I think a lot of it is, it's crawl, walk, run. You're crawling at the local level, but it has such an impact on your way of life.
Absolutely.
Your kids, your family.
Well, then
you've got to go one step further, because if you see the impact that you can have locally, then you take that one more step and say, okay, now let's do the state level.
Yeah.
And let's be involved in that.
Absolutely.
Let's make sure we understand what the issues are, what's going to be covered, what's.
Well, think about the things you in your day-to-day life, complain about or whatever it is. It's, why is my sidewalk this way? Why is why is the light down the end of the street out? Why is, it's things like that. That's the stuff that gets you day in, day out. And to be honest, the people that you're going to be hearing from next Tuesday, these are the people that affect those changes and impact what happens in those scenarios. Or, man, we don't have enough jobs in this town. Why is that? Or vice versa. Whatever it is, these are the people that make those decisions. Your city council and your mayor. Those are the ones that, along with on the county side, county commissioners and everything else. But this municipal election, those people you're voting for, those city councilors, those judges, those mayors, they are the ones that are going to really affect positively or negatively your kind of day to day and what's going on and those little minutia things of life. It's like, and to be honest, most of the stuff you don't care about till it's not there. You know what I mean? It's like your toilet flushes, you're fine. The day your toilet don't flush, or you go to turn on the sink to fill up a pot of water, and you're not, all of a sudden you really care about who your city councilors are and who your mayor is,
And you hit on it right there. You usually don't care until there's a problem or you have something that you want to gripe about.
Exactly.
And then it's too late.
Exactly.
Until the next election.
So now go where you know what you're standing. See what the people and I love the fact that there's so many candidates running in these various races. That's a good thing.
Yes.
That means people care about our community. People are getting involved. People are stepping up. It's amazing. So regardless of what you think of each of the candidates that are running for this election, tip of the cap, like Damon said earlier, is every one of these people are caring about our community and are saying, you know what, I care enough where I'm going to put myself out here and willing to make a difference. So a tip of the hat to every single, even if you don't agree with them, we respect and say, you know what, I at least like your gumption, the fact that you want to do something, and please go into Tuesday night remembering that. I think if because I know it's easy to you get your person.
Yep.
And then it's like sports or anything else. It's like, it's go till, we root for them until, and so we don't care what bridges we burn in the meantime sometimes.
Exactly.
And, which that probably works A-okay in a presidential election because that's the volatility of that is. But it's really hard to do some of that when the next day you might be going to get some meat at the store and you see that person at the deli getting some turkey with you and you're like, you know what I mean? It's different.
Yeah, it is.
So, go in there with that open mind. Just kind of, listen to what these candidates have to say and read between the lines on some of this stuff. That's my advice to you because they're all going to have, they're all, if any of these candidates have any kind of experience at all, they're going to be thinking about and trying to prepare answers that they think are going to be addressed. That's human nature to prepare for these things. But that's why reading in between the lines on some of this stuff is important. Like they may have a prepared answer for something, but what happens right before and after that, or what is said in between there that you're like, oh, well, maybe he's saying something that's lip service, or she's saying something that's lip service, but I can tell just in the way and then they're saying it that maybe that's not their true intentions or true understanding of something. And that's where a forum does an amazing job. You got to play a little detective. I'm not going to lie. If you're a studier of people, you've got a full-on challenge for you on Tuesday because that's really it is. You're studying these folks, listening what they have to say, try to discern what you think is legit versus what's lip service, and then base those decisions on that.
And it's interesting to see the spectrum of people that are up there. Mm-hmm. I know quite a few of them.
Yeah, and it's small town, man.
The personalities vary hugely.
Yeah,
I mean, and one thing that I want to, I was heavily involved with the forum that we had in 2018, and it was at Pueblo as well. And that year we had a fourth of everybody that voted in that election showed up to the forum.
That's great.
I don't have the numbers for last year, but I knew those off the top of my head. I was like, we had almost a fourth of everybody that voted in that, which is sad in one regard, great because it was one of our best forums ever.
Sure.
But it's kind of sad when you stop and figure the numbers are that low.
The small percentage of our community that actually goes out and votes.
It is. It's a very small percentage. Mm-hmm. Some of these wards are decided by and a handful of votes.
And I'm not trying to separate or anything out, but Ward 5, historically, they have the lowest turnout in numbers. And like you just said, literally someone's won that election by 3 votes, 5 votes, something like that. Because literally I've seen city council races where maybe 200 people total voted in Ward 5. And the final result was like 102 to 97 or something like that. It's really
ridiculous.
Close. Yeah. Numbers are a little bit like Ward 2's kind of gets in the thousands in there. I don't know if that's going to change a little with the redistricting here, but
it'll be interesting to find out. But the low voter turnout is, it's sad.
It is.
I mean, when you stop and figure that, and a lot of people, it's an apathetic look at it. They're like, oh, my vote doesn't count. Yes, it does.
Absolutely.
And if you want to, an old adage, if you didn't vote, you have no room to complain.
I've always said that. You Facebook warriors on there that like to take pot shots at everything and anything, great. God bless you. but what are you doing it really about it other than taking shots? Are you voting? Are you investigating some of these committees and signing up and asking about volunteers on these? What are you doing other than just pontificating on Facebook about it? And I'm not telling you have to get involved in everything, but if you're one of those people and the last thing you didn't do was vote, or vote educated. I don't even it's not even so much voting. I go in there and I don't care who you vote for.
It's
I really
not
don't.
name recognition.
I really don't care. What I care about is you go in there and you vote with, and I say, why did you vote for that person? And you have an answer for me.
Exactly.
That's what I want to know. I don't care that, and I don't want the answer to be they had cool signs.
Right.
Or I don't know, they look pretty smart on TV.
I've heard that name so many times.
Yeah.
That I just name recognition.
Yeah.
No, you need to have reasoning behind it.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm completely cool with whatever you vote for as long as you have a reason that's something other than I like their shirt.
Yeah. I mean, and education to me is pivotal in every situation.
Yeah.
I mean, in my work.
Yeah.
Educating, knowing the products and services, our schools, but if you walk in and you're casting your vote, which is a right that, could easily be taken away.
Many people have gave their ultimate sacrifice so you can do that.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying. Yep.
And you waste it because you thought they had a cool shirt or the name recognition or, I thought they'd be cool. What did you didn't think because you didn't investigate.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're that. And then you got to reap what you sow because we got to be honest. And then you're later saying this guy's an idiot. It's like, well, how did the idiot get there?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
I know we're pushing time, but I did want to take a second, Mike, and kind of toot the horn of Leadership Roswell Alumni Association.
Absolutely. Let's do, because they, Candidate Forum, there's two things that really are in the public eye for Leadership Roswell. One is this Candidate Forum. The other, which will be coming up here in March. Is the Teen Leadership Program they partner with NMMI on. Those are our two tentpole events, and they're both amazing events, but we are a little bit more than those two events, too.
Yeah, but those two are kind of the cornerstones. And the third, the annual banquet, where we recognize community leaders. Mm-hmm. But these two, the Candidate Forum and the Teen Leadership, they really reach out there, and I think they're cornerstones in what our organization is.
Absolutely.
And everything is done volunteer. All the committees that put the questions together, that organize everything at the location, all the way down to we want to tip our hat to KSVP and the radio, because they step out there and they do this, and it's community activism, which I also want to, step out there and say thank you to them throughout the pandemic, everything that KSVP did for our local schools, and that included Carlsbad, Hobbs, Artesia, Roswell.
Our video crews were all over the place.
Oh my gosh, they did such a fabulous job.
Well, thank you. You're absolutely right. I tip the hat to Tanner and all those guys. They were doing a lot of stuff during the pandemic here, and still do.
They did a phenomenal job because everything had to be remote, had to be no touch, everything, and they did a great job. And they've done a great job helping us with the forum and all the volunteers through Leadership Roswell Alumni Association, which if you like what you see, and this is the first experience that you've had with it, Leadership Roswell is the first step.
Absolutely.
Go through the program, contact the chamber, contact one of the alumni, and get involved that way, and then you can step into the Alumni Association.
If you have any desire of making an impact in our community, whether it's being through a business leader or a community leader through nonprofit or political, Leadership Roswell is one of the first things you should be checking out, because
certainly
it builds the leadership skills. That part, it's in the title, teaching how to be effective leaders, putting you in scenarios and situations of leadership roles and things, maybe giving people that maybe haven't had the experience there some of that. But the other side of the Leadership Roswell program is that connection side, learning about your community, learning about the people in your community, learning about what the people in your community do, learn about how the people in your community do it. And that's also very much part of Leadership Roswell. And those two, if you understand kind of how the sausage is made, then you can really understand why we do what we do. Yep. And Leadership Roswell does an amazing job. Rick and the staff and the alumni and obviously the community leaders and businesses and all those people we partner with to make these things happen. It's a lot of moving parts, but it is an amazing program. And so here in the summer, look for July timeframes. We're going to get heavy here. But if you're interested in becoming a part of the next class, the 2022 class or 2023, I don't know what number they call it,
right.
Class of Leadership Roswell.
The next one.
The next class that will start up here. We got a class going through now. They're going to wrap up here around May. Assuming no more COVID-related goofiness.
Right.
But and then we'll start right up here. But it's a class of 30. And it is, I ain't going to lie, there's a lot of people that don't make it first time because they're only 30. And we a lot of times sometimes get 40, 50, 60 qualified people. All 60 of them should be in the class, but we only got room for 30. So please apply. If you don't get in the first time, you actually get more weight the next year, so we want to encourage you. So if you applied last year or year before and you didn't make it, please reapply this next upcoming time. You're going to get a little bit more weight because you've applied before, and they say, well, they keep applying. Clearly there is a desire to be a part of this. We want to give them that opportunity.
Certainly.
It's just a numbers game sometimes, and that's what happens. So please keep applying and increase your odds. And then I'm telling you, once you get in, you're going to, I don't care what level of experience you have in this community, whether you've been born and raised here, know everything, or you just showed up a month ago, or somewhere in between. You're going to gain something out of this. You're going to gain, even if you think you've lived here and know everything, anything, you're going to meet and see things that you probably have never done before. Like, just for instance, if you've never gone to jail, you're going to get a chance to see the jail.
Exactly, and it is an eye opener.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
if you've never been in one,
it's a different world. And how I mean, it's not like watching TV and thinking it's somebody with bars and you sit there and I need my phone call. It's a lot more than that. Yeah. How a jail? That's our Hollywood version of jail, but it's a much more fluid.
You see the law enforcement side, the judicial side, the education side. I mean, small business. It really opens the eyes at a local level for.
Absolutely. You understand why things are done the way they're done. And if you question things and you're like, that doesn't make sense. Well, now you see it and you're like, oh, that's why they do it that way.
And then it gives after you go through the class, then you have the opportunity to participate in the Alumni Association, which there we get to put together the candidate forum, we get to do the teen leadership, we get to do the annual banquet, we get to do all those fun things and the fundraising to go along with it.
I ain't gonna lie, once you graduate, that's just the start of the journey. Yeah, now you're putting into practice all the things you've learned here in your business lives, your community lives, and hopefully sticking around through Leadership Roswell alumni and helping the community that way as well. We're always looking. So if you're a graduate of Leadership Roswell, I don't care if it was 30 years ago or this last year, and you want to get involved in the community, we'd love to have you come join our fold, serve on the board or serve on some of our committees. Or just be the muscle for some of our events and things and helping out and doing being the bodies there to help make things happen. It
takes a lot. I mean, with the candidate forum, there's a lot of moving parts, and many hands make light work.
Absolutely. And I know we got a lot of alumni. We got 30 years of this, 30 plus. And another thing, I don't know about this particular class of candidates, but I bet there's a huge percentage of them that call Leadership Roswell something that they've been a part of in their past at some point.
Rick spouted it off the other day, and I don't remember the number.
Yeah.
But it was ridiculous.
It is.
I thought that is huge because it was like 3/4 of all the candidates running have been through the program. And
Yeah.
I may be wrong on the number, but it was huge.
Yeah.
And I was like, that speaks volumes.
It absolutely does.
Because that means that the program is having an impact on people, which the people are having an impact on the community.
Absolutely.
And that's the whole bottom line.
Absolutely. So I just saw time. We really got to go here. But folks, next Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. is when the candidates and everything are going to be able to set up tables and everything. 6 p.m. will be and it's going to be a hard start for the forum here. Yep. It's going to be at the Pueblo Auditorium at the Roswell Independent School District Admin Building there. They got that beautiful old theater in there. Seats about 400 or so.
I think so.
Come on out. Doesn't cost anything. Doesn't. If you need a little incentive, you can win some great door prizes. You can sign up for. I think there might be some snacks and things. It's people gathering. There's always seems to be food showing up somewhere at some point. But come on out. Get a chance. Get there early. Talk to the candidates. Meet with the candidates, and then at 6 p.m. get you a good seat and sit back and relax and enjoy the forum and take in all the information that's going to be thrown at you fast and furious on Tuesday night.
Yep, so. Without a doubt.
And again, ksvptv.com. We'll have I don't think it's set up yet, but come Tuesday, you'll see a channel for the Municipal Candidate Forum. You just click on that. It'll take you right there. It'll be available live. It'll be available on demand. We'll kick our radio coverage promptly at 6 p.m. here on Tuesday as well, too. So that's where I'll be. I'll be the guy doing the radio stuff.
There you go. Good deal.
Thank you, Damon.
No,
or Matt Damon.
Yeah,
Matt Damon Graham.
There you go. Hey, that's what it takes.
They inspired the Martians based on Matt Damon Graham.
I like it.
He scienced the feces out of it. Thank you, David. We'll see you later. Sorry, that was one of my funny lines from The Martian.
There you go. Yep.
Thanks, Damon.